Welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive. Today we are going to be looking at a book that has really changed a lot of people's lives when it
Yes.
comes to their relationship with money and finances, and
What
it's
has
really
it?
had a lasting impact.
Yeah.
The book is Your Money or Your Life by Vicki
And Joe Dominguez.
and Joe Dominguez, that's right.
Yep.
And in this deep dive, we're going to be exploring the book's core message, and we're going to see if its 9-step program can help you, the listener,
Right.
kind of transform your own relationship with money.
Yeah.
Whether you are someone who's dreaming of financial independence
Right.
or just looking for a fresh perspective on your finances,
Absolutely.
this deep dive is for you.
It is for you.
So, one of the most impactful ideas, I think, in this book is this idea that money equals life energy.
Yes.
And it sounds simple, but it's really quite profound. I'd love to hear your thoughts
But
on
it's true.
that concept.
It's true. It's so simple,
Mhm.
but it's profound because it really does make you shift your perspective on money.
Right.
Instead of just seeing dollars and cents, you start to see the hours of your life that you traded
Right.
to earn that money.
Yeah,
And it really makes you think twice about that impulse purchase, doesn't it?
it really does.
Suddenly, it's not just about the price tag. It's about, the chunk of your life you're giving up for it.
Yeah, and I think about, you know, Jason and Nidra.
Yeah.
They're a young couple in the book, and they were struggling with debt. And they actually, really looked at their spending as life energy.
Yeah.
And it really had a huge impact on them.
Yeah, and I think it's because it triggered a much deeper emotional response.
Right.
Seeing their debt as accumulated hours of their lives working
Yeah.
made the trade-offs much more tangible.
Yeah.
It wasn't just numbers on a spreadsheet anymore.
Right.
It was their time, their life.
And that actually helped them break free from their debt
It did.
and find financial freedom.
Right.
And it really makes you think, if we all started doing that,
Absolutely.
would we make different choices?
I think we would.
Yeah.
I think we would. I mean, the book goes on to lay out a 9-step program
Yes.
to reach financial independence. And what I think is so great about it
Mm-hmm.
is that it's like a roadmap.
Yeah.
It's a guide to understanding your finances,
Mhm.
aligning your spending with your values,
Right.
and ultimately, having more options in your life.
I think it's important to point out, too, the book is not about
Right.
just, becoming a millionaire. It's about aligning your life with what truly matters to you.
Absolutely.
A big part of that journey. And I think step one is really, tracking every dollar earned and spent.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'll admit, when I first heard that, I was like, ooh, spreadsheets. That sounds tedious.
That sounds like a chore, right?
But the insights gained are really
Eye-opening.
eye-opening.
Yeah, and they tell a great story about a woman who discovered that she was spending $84 a month on magazines,
Yeah.
which might not sound like a lot,
Right.
but when she translated that into hours of work, it was 14 hours of her life energy
Yeah.
just on magazines.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
it is.
It really highlights the importance of awareness. Once you know where your money is going, you can start making more intentional choices.
Mm-hmm.
So we're tracking our spending. We're becoming aware of
Yeah.
where our life energy is flowing.
Yeah.
What's next on this path?
Well, the book introduces this concept of the fulfillment curve,
Okay.
and it basically shows that happiness doesn't endlessly increase with spending.
Really?
Yeah. It's not a straight line up.
Yeah.
There's a peak point. There's a point of enough. And that's really interesting because it challenges this assumption we all kind of have about the link between money and happiness.
So you're saying we may be chasing material possessions
Maybe.
beyond the point where they actually make us happy.
We may be.
Huh.
And they have this really poignant example of a family whose Christmas was ruined by too many gifts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The kids were overwhelmed. They weren't joyful. And it really underscores this idea that sometimes less can be more.
So this directly kind of leads into the book's emphasis on frugality.
Yes.
And it's not about being cheap.
Right.
It's about finding, more enjoyment out of life, getting more value,
Right.
finding pleasure in simpler things. I really like that Spanish word. They
Right.
use aprovecha,
Aprovecha.
which means to use something wisely and get full value from it.
That's right.
And it really kind of frames frugality as...
A pathway to creativity, resourcefulness.
Yeah.
It's not deprivation.
No, it's not about restriction.
And they highlight 10 surefire ways to save money. But again, it's not about restriction. It's about being mindful.
Right.
and making choices that align with your values.
It's about, you know what truly brings me joy? And how can I live a fulfilling life without overspending? And I love that they showcase,
Yes.
stories of people who have embraced this. Jane Z, who uses home exchanges for affordable family vacations. Steve S., who found financial freedom through investing in a self-storage facility.
Right.
And it really shows that there are so many paths to this, and it often requires creativity and a willingness to think outside the box.
That's right.
And that kind of leads into what they call this crossover point, right?
The crossover point.
Which is where
your investment income covers all of your living expenses.
Yeah, that's the game changer.
It's huge.
Because it gives you the freedom to work.
Or not work at all if you choose.
On your own terms, that's right. And they tell Kevin and Catherine's story.
Yeah.
Kevin worked a stressful corporate job, and when he realized he was 18 months away from the crossover point,
Right.
it was like this weight lifted.
Yeah.
I bet.
I bet.
I mean, did his circumstances change overnight?
Well, no, not really, but his mindset did.
Oh, wow.
He wasn't tethered to his job for survival anymore. He had options.
Yeah.
He knew he had a finite amount of time left working for money.
Right.
It gave him clarity and purpose.
That's so interesting.
And he went on to negotiate these really tough settlements at work with confidence.
Yeah.
He said, I'm bulletproof.
His story really shows how a shift in perspective, knowing that you have a path to financial freedom, can unlock so much potential.
That's right.
But achieving financial independence requires understanding investments.
Yes.
And Joe Dominguez, the co-author, he advocated using U.S. Treasury bonds for safety and stability. What are your thoughts on that approach, especially in today's economic landscape?
That's a great question. Yeah, it makes sense in terms of safety. Treasury bonds are backed by the U.S. government.
Right.
But, with interest rates and inflation as they are today, are Treasury bonds alone really enough?
That's a great point. And that's something that the book, doesn't fully address, I think, because the financial landscape has changed a lot.
It has.
So, relying solely on Treasury bonds, you could actually be losing purchasing power over time.
Yeah, that's right. And that's why, diversifying your portfolio with investments that have the potential for higher returns.
Right.
Like index funds
Yeah.
could be something to consider.
And they do mention index funds, no-load funds, lifestyle funds. I'll admit some of that went over my head.
Yeah.
Can you break some of that down for listeners who might not be familiar with those terms?
Yeah. So index funds are basically like baskets of stocks that track a specific market index like the S&P 500.
Okay.
They offer built-in diversification, and they tend to have lower fees than actively managed funds.
Okay.
No-load funds are mutual funds that don't charge a sales commission or load fee when you buy or sell them.
Okay.
And lifestyle funds are a type of mutual fund that automatically adjusts its asset allocation
Okay.
based on your target retirement date.
That's really helpful. So while Dominguez's strategy provides a foundation, it's important to do your own research, understand your risk tolerance, and potentially explore some of these options.
Absolutely. And the book really emphasizes that investing isn't one size fits all.
Right.
It's about finding a strategy that aligns with your financial goals.
Right. Yeah.
And your comfort level with risk. And it's great that they bring in Mark Zeifman, who's a financial planner, who's been practicing the principles of financial independence for years.
Yeah.
And he offers some great advice.
Yeah.
Especially for those who want a simple and low-cost investment strategy.
Right.
He's a big fan of Vanguard funds, which are known for their low fees and diversified offerings.
Yeah, and I like how that reinforces the idea that even though the book focuses on a specific approach,
Right.
it encourages you to be informed and adapt to the ever-changing,
Yes.
financial landscape.
Absolutely.
Now let's dive a little deeper into, the practical side of this 9-step program.
Yeah.
You mentioned step 1, tracking your life energy.
Yeah.
Which sounds simple enough in theory.
Right.
What does that actually look like day to day?
Well, the book recommends keeping a detailed record of all of your income and expenses.
All right.
And it could be a spreadsheet, a notebook, even an app,
Yeah.
whatever works for you. The key is to be consistent and honest with yourself about where your money's going.
You mentioned spreadsheets, and I have to admit I'm a bit of a spreadsheet nerd,
Okay.
but I can see how some people might find that daunting.
Yeah, it can be. But once you see those numbers translated into hours of your life,
Yeah.
it can be quite a revelation. And honestly, It doesn't have to be complicated. The book even provides sample forms and charts
Right.
to help you get started.
Okay. So it's more than just budgeting. It's about
Yes.
really a deeper awareness of where your money's actually going.
Precisely. Awareness is the first step to transformation. Once you have a clear picture of your spending habits,
Right.
then you can start making more conscious choices that align with your values and your goals.
So we're tracking our life energy. We're becoming aware of our spending patterns. What's that next step?
Well, the book encourages you to really examine each spending category through the lens of fulfillment.
Okay.
And this step, they call it minimizing spending for maximum fulfillment. And it's all about asking yourself 3 key questions about each purchase.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
So what are those 3 questions?
So the first one is, did I receive fulfillment, satisfaction, and value in proportion to the life energy I spent?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, and it's about being honest with yourself. Did that purchase truly bring you lasting joy and value, or was it just a fleeting moment of satisfaction?
Right.
And then the next one is, if I hadn't made this purchase, how might I have felt?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Right. Because it challenges our ingrained spending habits and encourages us to consider alternative ways to fulfill our needs and desires.
Right.
Could you have found satisfaction through experiences, relationships, or hobbies that don't require spending money?
And then the final question.
The final question is the most thought-provoking one.
Okay.
Is there any aspect of this spending that isn't in alignment with my values?
Wow, that's a powerful one.
Yeah, and this is where you connect your spending habits to your core values and your aspirations.
Right.
It's about making sure that your financial choices are a reflection of who you truly are and what you want your life to represent.
I like how those questions aren't about deprivation or guilt.
It's not about that.
They're about ensuring that your spending aligns with a life that is both fulfilling and meaningful.
That's right.
And I appreciate that the book doesn't advocate for a cookie-cutter approach to spending.
Right. Everyone's values and needs are different.
It recognizes that.
What brings one person joy may not have the same effect on another.
Right. And it's all about, finding what works for you.
Exactly.
A personalized recipe for financial freedom.
That's a great way to put it.
And as you apply these questions to your spending, you'll likely find that your expenses naturally decrease without feeling deprived.
That's right. And that's what they call the fulfillment factor.
Yeah.
Needing less by being more mindful.
And what about, those of us who are carrying debt?
Yeah.
That can feel like a huge obstacle.
Right. Well, the book doesn't shy away from the topic of debt.
Right.
It frames it as spending money you haven't earned yet.
Oh, wow.
Which really highlights the potential pitfalls of relying on credit cards and loans.
Right.
It encourages you to view debt as a form of financial bondage that limits your choices and your freedom.
And it's not just the financial burden,
That's the emotional and psychological toll.
Yeah.
And they share some pretty sobering statistics about rising consumer debt and its impact on individuals and families.
Right.
Yeah, those numbers can definitely be a wake-up call.
But they do offer a practical approach to getting out of debt.
They do.
What is that approach?
Well, it's about taking responsibility, facing your financial reality, and creating a plan for paying off your debts systematically.
So it's not just about, wishing it away. It's about taking action.
Taking action.
And they even provide step-by-step instructions for creating a debt repayment plan.
They do.
And I like that they stress the importance of getting support, whether it's from a financial advisor or a debt counseling service or even a support group.
Yeah.
So it's about facing the problem head-on, getting support, and creating a sustainable plan for financial freedom.
Yes.
As you chip away at that debt, you're likely to experience a sense of empowerment and liberation that goes beyond just the financial benefits.
You're reclaiming your life energy hour by hour, dollar by dollar.
And once you're out of debt, the focus shifts to building your capital, which is your savings and investments that will eventually generate that passive income.
That's right. This is where you start building a foundation for a future where your money works for you.
Right.
Instead of the other way around.
And again, it's not about deprivation. It's about making conscious choices that align with your values and long-term goal.
That's right. It's about delaying gratification in the present.
Right.
So you can enjoy greater freedom and abundance in the future.
Wow. We've covered a lot of ground.
We have.
Tracking expenses, examining spending habits, getting out of debt, and building capital.
Yes. It's a holistic approach.
It's a journey, not a quick fix.
No, it's a journey.
It's about, making gradual changes that create lasting habits and lead to a more fulfilling life.
Absolutely.
And I think, we've explored some fundamental concepts, delved into the practical steps, and uncovered some really insightful perspectives.
But there's still more to uncover.
This has been an enlightening deep dive. We're not finished yet. We still need to explore those later stages of the program where things get really exciting.
That's right.
We'll be back soon to discuss, aligning work with your values, the complexities of investing, and ultimately what it means to live a life of financial independence.
That's right.
So stay tuned. All right, so welcome back to our deep dive into your money or your life. We're in the home stretch now, exploring the final stages of the 9-step program where, everything we've talked about starts to come together.
Yeah, it's where the rubber meets the road.
Exactly. And we've laid the groundwork, tracking our expenses, getting out of debt, building capital. Now it's time to put it all into action.
Right.
And step 6 of the program focuses on valuing your life energy, maximizing your income.
Yes.
And I have to admit, when I first read that, I thought, oh, this is about hustling and grinding, always chasing a bigger paycheck.
Right.
But that's not really what they're getting at, is it?
No, not at all. It's not about becoming a workaholic or sacrificing your well-being for a bigger salary.
Right.
It's about aligning your work with your values and finding a sense of purpose in what you do.
So it's about finding work that feels meaningful.
Yes.
That resonates with you on a deeper level.
Precisely.
And they actually encourage you to look at your current work situation and ask yourself those 3 key questions again.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember those?
Yes, those were good.
They're so versatile.
Yes.
So in this context, we start by asking, does this job reflect my values and life purpose?
Yes, that's right.
Right.
It's about making sure your work is aligned with what truly matters to you, not just a means to an end.
Okay, then we dig deeper. Am I earning a living in a way that is ethical and life-affirming?
Yeah. Are you contributing to the well-being of others and the planet, or is it causing harm?
These are tough questions.
Yeah, they are.
Important ones to contemplate. And finally, we ask, am I learning and growing in this job?
Yes. Personal and professional development.
Yeah.
Are you being challenged?
Yeah.
Engaged? Expanding your skills and knowledge?
So the underlying theme here, it seems, is finding work that not only pays the bills, but also nourishes your soul and allows you to grow and evolve.
And what's important to remember is they're not suggesting that everyone needs to quit their day job and become an entrepreneur to find fulfillment.
Yeah.
It's about finding that alignment within your current situation or exploring alternative paths that might be a better fit.
Do they share any stories of people who've successfully done this?
Oh, yeah. There's a great story about Marcia M., who began as a hotel maid and through conscious effort and consistently applying the book's principles, she became the executive director
That's amazing.
of a medical organization, more than tripling her salary in the process.
So it shows you it can be done.
Yeah.
That's a great reminder. Yeah.
So let's imagine we're earning an income that aligns with our values, managing our finances responsibly, and steadily building capital.
Yeah.
What's the next major milestone on this journey?
Well, that brings us to step 7. Reaching the crossover point.
Yes.
Like that exciting moment we talked about earlier.
The moment where our investment income surpasses our monthly expenses.
That's it.
That's like the ultimate goal of financial independence.
Yeah.
Because it gives you the freedom to work on your own terms.
Yeah, or not work at all.
Or not work at all.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's not just about financial freedom. It's about achieving a level of autonomy and choice that so many people only dream of.
Yeah.
You're no longer working to survive. You're working because you want to.
Yeah.
You have options, and you can design a life that truly aligns with your values and aspirations.
It's a complete paradigm shift, it sounds like.
It is.
You're no longer bound by financial constraints.
That's the beauty of it.
You have the power to shape your own destiny. Yes. And the book really offers a clear roadmap for achieving this. Outlining a simple yet effective investment strategy with a focus on safety and stability.
And we talked earlier about Joe Dominguez's approach, using U.S. Treasury bonds as that foundation for generating passive income. But as we discussed in today's economic climate, it's probably wise to consider diversifying.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So diversifying with index funds
Yeah.
or other investment vehicles that offer potentially higher returns.
That's right. And remember, the book encourages you to be informed and adapt to the current economic conditions.
Okay.
Investing isn't a set-it-and-forget-it endeavor.
Right.
It's an ongoing process.
So it's about being an active participant,
Yes.
not just a passive observer.
Exactly.
So let's say we've reached this crossover point.
Okay.
Our passive income covers our expenses, and we have that enough that the book talks about.
Right.
What do we do with this newfound freedom?
Well, that's where step 8 comes in. Investing for financial independence.
All right.
And this step goes beyond just choosing the right investments. It's about creating a holistic plan for managing your finances.
Right.
And ensuring a secure and fulfilling future.
And it's not about, parking your money in a savings account and hoping for the best. It's about actively managing those investments and aligning them with your long-term goals.
That's right. And they provide some really valuable guidance on topics like asset allocation, diversification, risk management.
Yeah.
They even delve into minimizing fees and taxes, which can really impact your returns over time.
It's about, becoming financially savvy, not just to accumulate wealth, but to ensure that wealth sustains you throughout your life.
That's right. And they also talk about building a cushion.
Yeah.
A safety net to handle unexpected expenses or market fluctuations.
Right.
Having that financial buffer can provide peace of mind and protect you from those unforeseen circumstances.
Yeah.
But here's where I think the book's message truly resonates.
Right.
Financial independence isn't simply about having enough money to cover your expenses.
Right.
It's about having the resources to pursue your passions,
Yeah.
to contribute to your community, and make a positive impact on the world.
I love how they share stories of people who have done just that. Like Penny Y, who finds joy in helping the elderly.
Right.
And Dwight W., who's dedicated himself to social justice.
Yeah.
It's not about retiring early and disappearing.
Well,
it's about using your time and your resources to create a life that's both fulfilling and impactful.
That's right. And that brings us to the final step, step 9.
Yeah.
Managing your finances.
Okay.
This is about maintaining your financial independence for the long term.
Yeah.
It's about establishing sustainable habits and systems that will allow you to enjoy this freedom for years to come. And they offer guidance on things like estate planning, charitable giving,
Right.
creating a legacy that reflects your values.
It's about taking a long-term view of your finances and ensuring that your wealth benefits both you and the world around you.
And that, my friend, is the essence of your money or your life.
Yeah.
It's a transformative journey, not just of your finances, but of your entire relationship with money.
Absolutely.
And how it fits into your life.
Well, this has been an incredible deep dive.
Yeah, it has.
I feel inspired, and I hope our listener does too.
Yeah, I hope so.
It's a reminder that, financial freedom is within reach for anyone who's willing to put in the effort and make those conscious choices.
Absolutely.
If you're ready to transform your relationship with money and embark on your own journey toward financial independence,
check out the book.
Check out Your Money or Your Life.
It's a classic for a reason.
It really is. And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining us on this journey of financial discovery. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, keep diving deep.
Absolutely.